Hi, everybody. It's me, Patricia Cori, your little sad person here. And the reason I'm coming to you today is because I want to talk about emotion, which is not a new topic for me. And I want you to see me for who I am. I'm not always the perky, laughing joy bringer. And this is one of those days. So the reason I'm blue is because, for those of you who don't know, a very dear friend has passed over. And as much as, what I want to say here is, as much as we know, and as much as I talk about the other side and the miracle of transition and all of these spiritual aspects about life and death, I don't want it not to matter either. I don't want losing someone special, someone wonderful, to be washed away in spiritual rhetoric about he's in the light and sorry, I've got this big clump of hair sticking up. Vanity in the middle of sadness. I don't want it not to matter. I don't want to not miss someone. I want to honor that passing and allow myself to feel it. And it's really interesting that I had just yesterday written that little piece. Thanks, Ananda, you're encouraged. That little piece about feeling your emotions and feeling the loss. It was like preparation. It was like a mirror that I would be holding up to myself this day to deal with my feelings about Vincenta. And after a lot of tears, I realized I'm not just crying for Vincenta, but obviously it's a deeper feeling. It's about loss and how we cope with it. So I just wanted to talk to you, and I know a lot of you are concerned about me, and I just have to tell you that I never stop being grateful that in this marasma of technology, we have a vehicle here that allows us to reach each other, really reach each other. And I have such a community out there of loving people. I'm very grateful for that. So I wanted to just share with you, the wonder of, well, this doesn't look like wonder, this looks like tragedy, but bear with me. Yesterday, I was exchanging emails with Joe, one of my friends on email, and all of a sudden, it was a beautiful sunny day. All of a sudden, a cloud moved into position, and as you can see me looking here, this is my window on Pico Island, and it's the window that's next to my desk. But there are many windows, as you see behind me, but my focus is quite a lot on this window because it's so beautiful. And this cloud moved over and started to rain, and this gigantic rainbow came out. It was so bright and it was so close. It was almost like the pot of gold was in my own yard. And I interrupted my exchange with her and said, Joe, I'm sorry, I've got to go out and catch this rainbow, this beautiful rainbow. Grabbed my camera, ran outside, and took this picture. And when I was out there, I heard my guides, whoever you want to think is talking to you. Oh my God, it's Vincent. He's passed over the bridge. And how particular this was, since in the days that I've been preparing for him to go, I've been talking about holding the bridge for him, holding the rainbow bridge for him. Sure enough, sometime later I got an email from a lovely soul who is a friend of mine and a dear friend of Vincent, and she wrote to let me know that he had passed over 2 hours earlier, exactly the time when that rainbow came. And I thought, how blessed am I that Vincent you can, there are those who will say, well, it's a coincidence, but, we're so past that. So to you who understand, I say, how wonderful that Vincent sent me that rainbow to let me know he made it. And quite probably to want me to share that with everyone else, because so many of you sent him so much healing. So there was another incident some time ago. I was with my friend Peter in my house, and I saw a hand writing the word Swift over and over again. He was very distracted with his cell phone, and I kept looking up. Someone was writing this cursive writing, Swift, in front of my face. And at one point, my dog, Mr. Bingo, the crazy dog who's no longer with me, jumped on. He was a neurotic little nervous dog. He jumps up on my lap and goes comatose in my lap, just rigid. I go, Peter, somebody's trying to communicate to me. I keep seeing this name, Swift. It's like an autograph or a signature, and then in blue letters and gold light around them. And he was like, yeah, darling, I'll be right with you. I go, Peter, look at Mr. Bingo. He's like comatose here, because Bingo was serving as an antenna for that. So he was just out. I'm talking completely rigid. And I kept saying this, Swift, Swift, Swift. And I finally said, Peter, this is important. Are you paying attention here? I'm getting some kind of a communication. And then he looked at me and he went, oh my God. He had a friend who was the caretaker for a man that they called, his nickname was Swifty. And Peter called her in that moment, or she called him. I'm not quite sure I remember. She called him and said that Swifty had just passed over, and she was in his room. Sorry, he called her. It doesn't matter anyway. And she was crying, holding his shirts. He always wore blue shirts. Dig that? Blue is his favorite color. And so Peter told her what had happened, and she said, oh my God, it's Swifty. He's letting me know he made it. And then the gold light around the blue letters. I mean, he made it into the light. And it healed her. And these aspects it's a wonderful gift to be a psychic capable of walking between the worlds and bringing forward these messages. But there must be room for missing these people from the physical world. There must be a time to allow for that sadness. A light has gone on, yes, but it's gone. For now, at least. So that's why I'm blue. And I feel that, in a time to honor the family of Vincent and not make this my drama, my story. It's time for his family, and I send them love. But I just want to say that allow yourself time. If there's grief to feel or sadness to feel, let us always allow that. And that's why I'm on the air right now. I want you to see me, to see all of me, not just the laughing, silly me. But if I am to honor myself as well as you, then there has to always be room for all of it to walk the talk. I have to be able to share all of it and honor it. And so crying in front of you is, I think, cathartic and healing. And I want to thank you all, because so many of you are, I put that horrible sad face of me. I mean, it was because I wanted to show you the gorgeous, beautiful, extraordinary pendant that came from Shona today, Shona Carlson. And talk about great timing. It came in the mail. It came late. She was worried that it wouldn't get here because it had to get here today. So I put up the picture, and there was this terribly sad face, which is why I wanted to come on and show you that even in my sadness, I'm able to smile and be grateful. And, you know, I hope that I can serve in some way as an inspiration to all of you to remember that there's great dignity in emotion. There's no need to put on a happy face when you're not happy. Obviously, dwelling in pain and misery is no solution, but God, you know, feeling pain, it's so much better than anesthetizing it. And, you know, I've got a horrific headache, but of course I've got a headache. I've been crying, but I won't take meds, so it has to pass, like a symbol of the other pain. And wow, how also, I'm so moved to know that even though this boy Vicente was far away, I mean, he lived in Mexico, and he came on some of my sacred journeys, but there was always a bond there. I guess, you know, I never had children, so that's why the mama bear thing is so wonderful, and thank you all for seeing me that way. And I lost one of my cubs. Anyway, there's this constant thing going on in my head about knowing, having seen and been on the other side after near-death experiences, having had, when my mother died, which of course was the darkest time of my life, I couldn't even reach her. How frustrating to be a psychic and to be able to reach spirits for other people, but not reach my mother. And fortunately, there was a very powerful medium that I knew in Italy, and I called her, and I didn't even say anything. She said, "Your mother has already come. Please come and see me." So I did, crying hysterically. And she said, my mother spoke through her. She was a trance medium. And she said, "Honey, I can't get completely into the light. I'm good with this. I mean, I can be with you as long as you need. But your pain is anchoring me here. And no amount of screaming and crying and wailing, because when I cry, I go for the gusto. I don't even mess around. As I do everything, I just used to go in the kitchen and scream and cry because my mom treated me and paid for the remodel of my kitchen. And it was a joke with us. I told her I was going to buy a little plaque and hammer it to the kitchen cabinets that said donated by Sarah Cori. So I used to go in there looking for her and wailing, and just, "I need you, Mom, please come back." And this medium says, no amount of screaming in the kitchen is going to bring me back. Wow. So it really helped me heal, knowing that without a question of a doubt, we pass away, but we don't die. And that's what this message today is about. As much as I feel this grief, Vincent is dancing in the stars. I mean, he is finally free from a lot of pain. And recognizing, seeing all the things he dreamed about and hoped, he's doing. Maybe I should be crying more for us that are still You're in the plasma of 3D. But I had to share my feelings with you and bring this up, this sadness up to a place of recognition for the souls that pass over, and to help you, all of you. So many people are losing people. Jess, I feel your pain too, sweetie. And don't let anyone tell you to get over it. Don't let anyone push you to put on a happy face when you're in grief. Let your grief flow as long as it takes. Let it flow, because if it bottles up, it turns into cancer. So for Jess, for Vincent family, for all of you who are facing loss and fear and illness, my heart goes out to you, and I want you to be able to know that I'm not ashamed of my sadness. I'm not ashamed to show you my sadness, and that this too is part of being human for all of us. And when I put out those messages about feel happiness, strive for happiness, and so many people are not in happiness, my message is always also strive for that too. But when you are in pain, man, just feel it. Don't medicate it. There come the trolls again. As much as possible, don't reach for that aspirin or that med. Well, let it move through. Even mental pain, emotional pain, physical pain. See if you can just let it move through without anesthetizing yourself. And the sooner you do that, the sooner it goes away. So this is my tribute, I guess, to Vicente. And thank you for being in my life, you little star. And thank you for sending that rainbow. And I should be happy. I know I should be happy to have seen it, and I am, but it's kind of a shock, It's not that easy being a person who walks through the worlds. And it certainly isn't easy being human. And I wanted you to be able to see me not being easy, being human. Sorry about the sniffling. It's not pleasant, but, I have no tissue. I didn't expect to come on here and cry, but then it feels good. It feels good to let this release out, and I'm sure that taking on this message was about the cathartic aspect of it, as well as communicating to you how I feel. Because in these days particularly, you guys, honestly, this love pours in from around the world, and it's such a gift. It's such a gift to be the mama bear in this little community. How grateful I am that you bestowed that on me. And I want you all to know that, God forbid anybody messes with my cubs. I don't want anyone to mess with my cubs. All right, so here I am. I've bared my soul to you, and feels good. Thank you. Thank you for being there always, in the joy and in the sadness. And I think at this point, I'm not crying only for Vicente. I'm crying for everyone who's in pain. It's not easy being an empath. I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. I wonder sometimes if it wouldn't be just easier just to feel nothing and just pig out on porn and booze and whatever. But we are who we are, and thank God for that. Thank God for feeling. Thank you. What a beautiful thing to say. Ann just said, thank you for sharing. It takes courage to trust others with our pain. Yeah, it does. And I have that courage because I I need my pain. In the words of Captain Kirk, my pain is who I am. It brought me to where I am. I'm not ashamed of my pain. And maybe because I know so many of you respect me so deeply, maybe if you can look at this moment of bringing my grief to you with humility and hope, dignity, maybe it will help you understand that it's okay to bare your soul, to grieve, to feel your pain. All right, my dears. Thank you, Alyssa. That's a beautiful thing to say. Well, I do have to get my act together sometime today because I'm interviewing Sam Osmaganovich. I hope I learn how to pronounce his name before I'm actually talking to him. I always blow it. And obviously I can't be doing that while I'm crying. So I'm going to go out by the beach on my beautiful island. I'm going to walk along the beach and talk to the dolphins and see if I can let some of this flow out and be healed in the ocean. I want to thank you all, Elisa and Elsie and Sandra, and so many of you. And Chris just joined. Chris, thank you. I was supposed to do a reading for him, and I just can't. I would never, ever put on a happy face for someone that had a reading booked and not give 100,000% in a reading. So thank you I hope you got my message, Chris, and I hope you understand. Can't do it today. Tomorrow will be better. Okay, guys. Thank you always for being there for me, as I am for you. And I will be back to you when the pain is over, I hope. And when the smile is real. That's the only way I'm going to do smiling. All right, loves. I'm going to sign out now. Take care. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking in. Oh my God, I'm seeing my face. I've got streams down my eyes. It'll be better. And once again, if you said this family is at all listening, I want you to know that your son was loved by many, and he's having a good time over there, and we will see him when we're there. And Jess, I hope you heal, and all of your loved ones as well. And to all of you who are struggling, I just send you all my love. Take care. Thank you for being there.